Hello, welcome in. We got some big penalties to talk about coming out of Daytona. Chase Briscoe, who sat on the pole for the Daytona 500 for Toyota for the first pole for the Daytona 500 for Toyota, with a couple tenths over Austin Cindric, which is a big gap with these cars these days. And come to find out, they had some modifications to the deck lid where the spoiler bolts to. Briscoe was docked 100 driver's points, 10 playoff points, as the same with the owner's points. JGR was fined $100,000, and crew chief Gene Small has been suspended for 4 races. It's no wonder he got the pole, I guess. Gene Small or the team says it was just wear from bad supplier parts. We've heard that argument before. I know HMS had the louvers last year, and although they got their appeal, got some of their points back and stuff. But that's where we're at with these now. That you touch one thing wrong or something like that, and NASCAR's coming after you. So you get these bad parts. If they are bad parts, you gotta probably go back and get different ones, and it costs money, but that's where the little box NASCAR puts you in. I assume that JGR knows that, and they probably just use an excuse to try to get an edge. That happened to be the only car that I think of JGR they took back to the R&D center, so it'll be interesting to see if probably other cars had it, probably the same as what happened when they all had the tape on their nose at Pocono there a couple of years back. But we'll see how this plays out. I don't know if there will be any appeals process going on here. I haven't heard anything that fact. Yeah, that was a pretty big one coming out of Daytona. Start off the year, Chase is now negative 67 points. Not to the leader, but just has negative 67 points. So he's almost in a near-win situation coming out of Daytona. So some other news today: Parker Kligerman lost his appeal. That team lost their appeal for their ride height issue coming out of Daytona in the Truck Series. They said it was probable cause that there was a rules violation, whether it was intentional or not. They didn't have their truck set up the way they should have, and so I feel bad for Parker. It seems like every time he gets close to a win, it gets taken away with him, whether it was a late or a caution flag right before he took the white flag at Roval last year, this Daytona race. I feel like he takes B and C equipment and outperforms in it, and he just hasn't gotten that reward from it, and kind of sad for him that he's kind of going back to the TV side. And I think he's a great driver. I think you put him in some better equipment, he'd probably get a few wins here and there. So I'd like to see that. Maybe he can get some part-time rides and maybe something better than what he's getting. But I'm sure he'll be back in that truck or something at some point, probably at Daytona or Talladega later. He is not going to be in it at Atlanta, but he will still be doing part-time in some truck and Xfinity events, I believe. So hopefully he'll get one day. I'm rooting for him. We'll see how he does with that. Just a couple other smaller penalty reports. The 34, Todd Gill in for Front Row Motorsports, and the 51, Rick Ware for racing Cody Ware. Were also docked 10 points each for owner and driver points, and they had their weight ballast outside of their ballast containers, so they wasn't properly secured in the right locations. So that's more of a safety hazard, and surprised the 10 points is all they got. I believe if that other things in other series, you get actually DQ'd for, well, I guess if they lose the weight. They didn't lose the weight, they just had it improperly mounted, so there's probably a different argument there. But they're probably lucky to get off with 10 points each there, so that probably won't affect them too much going into the rest of the season. I mean, of course, every point matters, but with those two teams in particular, I didn't really see them being in the, maybe Todd, maybe definitely not Cody, being in the hunt with that. But we'll see what happens coming up. we'll Adam and I will get our picks out for Atlanta. Probably try to put together a small video for that, and we'll see you after Atlanta for post race thoughts and opinions. So we'll see you then.